All right, we'll let this connect real quick and see if we can actually go live today. Everybody cross your fingers and cross your toes and cross your eyeballs. We'll see if it all works. Oh my gosh, there we go. It did it. So we are officially live on day 3 of the webinar platform boot camp. And let me jump back in because we actually had a couple questions before I started. And the first one was when you do a live to YouTube, the YouTube live or to Facebook live, can the presenters share their screen? And I think the answer to that is no. They just get to join, but they don't have any like elevated privileges. So you get to share your screen, but I don't think they can share their screen. I don't think they get that capability. I will definitely double check that though. And if it's different, I will definitely let you know. Okay. I have so many platforms that I use. Sometimes I cross over the platforms and don't know for absolute sure. So I will check and make sure that that is the case. Okay. And then Susie had a question, so I'm going to have Susie jump in and ask her question.
Hi, Shelly. Let me ask you, you mentioned that we're going to have a train on mobile optimization.
We're going to have a what? On mobile optimization? Tell me again.
Yes.
We're going to have
a
boot camp. We're going to have a boot camp. Is that what you said?
No, you said that we're going to have a training, but I don't know if it's a boot camp.
Were you watching the earlier webinar where I was talking about fonts?
Yes.
I will post that everywhere. When I get that chart ready to see what the font sizes are for the desktop versus mobile, I'll make sure to post that everywhere. We'll also make sure it gets into the training area so you guys can it'll be available for everybody. Okay.
But the question, the real question is, are we still optimizing tablets or we are not?
I don't, because when we go from desktop size to tablet size, it's actually responsive. And what it's doing is it's just kind of shrinking everything to fit the screen. But the kicker is when you go from tablet to mobile, it can no longer shrink it like that so small. So that's why we have the adaptive version. So you can actually adapt the mobile so that everything fits perfectly and the way that you want it. But we're coming out with that responsive banner. And that responsive banner is designed like our old responsive builder, where it's got columns and rows. Yes. And when it responds, it actually takes those columns and just stacks them on top of each other. It's going to be a really interesting way to see how it works. I haven't gotten to play with it yet, but I'm really excited to check it out because I did like our old responsive builder. I liked the way it did everything and stacked it. So basically, we had a pixel perfect inside of each box that was in the responsive builder. But we'll see how the banner does and how well we can make the mobile responsive. Okay?
Perfect.
Can't wait. That was a good question. All right, you guys, any other questions before we get started today? No, don't everybody ask at once. Too much. All right, you guys. Let's go ahead and jump into the webinar platform, and we're going to go all the way through setting up a webinar today, and we're going to set it up so that you guys can actually watch it tonight. We're going to set it up like a webinar that's going to be active later tonight so that you can sign up, you can get notifications, you can get the emails that you're supposed to get. You can sign up and actually watch it live. And then you can actually get the email that the replay is sent to you as well. So we're going to do all of that today. You're going to see how exactly I would set it up. Okay. Dominic, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to let Davida know to mute her mic. Every time she types, it takes away from you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. Davida, I'll go ahead and mute you. There we go. I got it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set up our email list because I need to have an email list specifically for the webinar so that when people sign up, it's sending out from that email list when they sign up. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and get started doing that first. It's going to be just a very simple thing to do. So I'm going to go to share, and then we'll go to here, and we'll go to the home page, and I'm just going to use my main, one of my main accounts, and we're going to go ahead and set up Mailing Boss. So right here is Mailing Boss. I'm going to click it and then click enter. And I'm going to set up my new Mailing Boss, and I'm going to show you the long way to set this up. And then tomorrow I'm going to show you how you can do it in Canvas a little bit differently. Okay. So I'm going to set up my subscriber list. So I'm going to set up a webinar 1. I'm going to call it webinar 1. And I'm just going to do that as the display name, description, and continue. And then all of this is fine. I want it to be a double opt-in. So I'll click next. And then right here, I'm going to capture the email and first name, and that's all I want. So now I'm going to click Save Changes. And now I have to go through all of my stock emails and stock pages. I'm not going to make any changes to them. I'm just going to let her rip. So I'll go Save and Next. And Save and Next. And then Save and Next. And one more, Save and Next. Fabulous. And now I've got all of my stock emails and stock web pages made. Now I'm going to go to the fields, and I'm going to make sure, I'm a little OCD about this. I'm going to make sure that first name shows up first on my email marketing form, and then the email field shows up second. That drives me nuts when they're flip-flopped. And then for first name, I'm going to go ahead and make it required. So those are the two things I'm going to change, is the sort order and required on the first name. And I'm going to click Save Changes. And then I'm going to go into Update, and I'm going to make sure that under Advanced Settings that I have the double opt-in. I'm going to make sure that the email is coming from a verified email. So I'm going to click the down arrow, and let's see if we can find a good verified email. So we'll do Shelly at, let's see if we can find it. Shelly at the Laptop Diva. That sounds great. Shelly at the Laptop Diva. And then on this one, on the reply to, I'm going to say no reply at thelaptopdiva.com. And I think that's all I want to set up right here. I can do a subscription, a subscriber already exists redirect. So if somebody tries to sign up to the opt-in form twice, it will take them to a page that says, hey, you're already a member. But I haven't made the pages yet, so I'm not going to put that in there. I'll just click Save Changes. And now all that's set up, and I am ready to go. So I'm feeling good about the information that's in there. And I've got my subscriber list set up. And let's go ahead and jump into the Pixel Perfect and start building our pages. So I'm going to go to the Pixel Perfect Builder, and I'm going to click Enter. And I'm going to start building my website. Now, I'm building this one from scratch today so that you can see me starting from the very, very beginning of how to do this. And you can see that it's actually not that difficult to start from scratch. So I'm just going to go to New Website. And I'm just going to make it blank. It's not going to have anything in it. But if you did want to do something that already exists, I think we have a couple of webinar funnels already. So let me see if we have one here. Yep, we have a webinar funnel right here. So you could actually choose either one of these two, and they're actually pre-configured. So you've got two funnels that you could choose from. We're just going to do it from scratch so you can see how I do it from the very beginning. So I'm going to go to a new website. So I'm just going to go blank page. And then I'm going to choose the actual blank page. It has a list of a bunch of blank pages here, but they're lying to you. They're not all blank. This one right here is the actual blank one. So I'm going to choose blank, layout cleaned, and click edit. And then from here, it's going to load my Pixel Perfect website builder. And I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to name it webinar 1 and send. And then save. And now everything's ready to go. Now, based on what I taught earlier today, one of the first things I would do is go into the text and actually change the text that I want to use throughout my website, because I'm not going to make this website pretty. I'm not going to concentrate on that and take time away from you guys. But normally I would go in and change the text to make the text consistent throughout the website for me, which means I would change the size, I would change the style of the font and make it the exact fonts and the exact sizes that I want based on the desktop view and the mobile view. And I'll be putting out a chart really soon to show you what the normal sizes should be. But we'll pretend like I changed all of the text settings. I've got it exactly the way I want. And then I click save to make sure that all my changes were saved. And now I'm going to go ahead and actually click the plus button. And I'm going to go to text and I'm going to add a heading right here. And we're going to put this heading right here. I'm going to put join our webinar today, exclamation point. And then I'll do another text box with the H2, whoops, wrong one, plus and text and H2. And then I'll put something like, don't miss your opportunity to watch the famous Builderall Diva show you how to use the Builderall Pixel Perfect. There we go. So we got that under there, and then we'll add an image. So I'll put an image right here, just like this. We'll put it right there. And I don't think I've added a banner yet. So let me add my banner and put everything in a banner, because that's really important to use banners. So I'll go to appearance and color, and we'll change it to white. There we go. And now I'm just going to add these over here, just like this. Move my banner up like that, and then rejuggle things a little bit. So join our webinar today. Don't miss your opportunity. There's the image. Let's change the image. Fabulous. And let's see if we can find an image of Shelly. So Team Awesome, maybe? Maybe there might be an image of Shelly there. Nope. Let's try again. The Laptop Diva, maybe? No. No. So let's see if we can just type in Shelly. We'll go to all. And there's Shelly right there. So we'll just take that picture. The Rubik's Cube picture, oh my gosh. So we'll make that a little bit smaller, put that down there. And we're going to put a box here to box everything up, because we want to make sure we're using boxes for everything. So we'll do like this. Put that in there, center it. This. And then here. And center it. And then the image and center it. Alrighty, so we'll drag that over there, and then we'll change the box to look a little different, because I want the color blank and the border blank. All right, so we got it started, and now I'm going to do another box. So I'll go here to boxes and lines and pick that box. And we'll make this one larger like this. And then I'm going to create some text. We'll do this one right here. And we'll say, sign up today. There we go. And we'll center it. And now I'm going to do my email marketing form in here. So I'm going to go to plus, and I'm going to go to email marketing form, and I'm going to pick this one because I like it. We'll make it a little bit larger. And I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to configure mailing boss. And I'm going to choose the webinar one that we just made, so it's connected. And then I can choose to set up this so it's a little bit bigger, so I can go to appearance and I can edit the appearance a little bit. So on the fields, I can make the text a little bit bigger so that we can maybe see it a little bit better. And then let's see, down here for the let's see, subtitle, style of the button. I like the blue. The border size is fine. Space from the top, there's the size right there. Okay, so I can make it all the way across, or I can make it like that. That looks good. Height, I want to change a little bit. There we go. And then we'll make the button font a little bit bigger. Let me see if I can find that. Button central, under the form, rounded, border size. There we go. We'll make that a little bit bigger, and we'll put it a little bit further from the actual fields. So that's good. And then let's see. Labels, no. Form field styles. Let's see if we can put them a little bit further apart, like this. So that makes it a little bit bigger for us. So it's not quite as teeny, dinky, tiny as it was. That was driving me nuts. And then I can edit that with any color that I want. There's so many things that I can do. Let me make that a little bit bigger. I don't think that makes a difference. Form field styles, that's 36. Spacing, height. So I think that's everything I want to do. So we're going to stick with that form, and I'm going to click save and then save again. So there's one thing that I haven't set up in here, and that is I haven't right clicked and done the change URL yet because I haven't created those pages. So I'm going to change the box a little bit, go to appearance, return, and I'm going to choose the box style that's over here. And I'm just going to delete this box style because I don't need it. All right, so now that box is clear. And whenever I want to move this stuff, I can move it as a box instead of trying to move it individually. All right, so we've got our form. Now the next page that I want to create is actually the webinar information page. So I want to go ahead and create that next. So I'm going to click save and save again. And then I'm going to go and create a new page. So I'm going to go to pages, into that layout, and I'm going to add a new page. And it's going to be just a blank page right here. And this is the pre-webinar page. Pre-webinar. Perfect. And confirm. So this is going to be a blank page, and it's going to be the page that they go to that actually tells them when the webinar is going to start. So I need to put some information in here. So I'm going to go to plus and text, and I'm going to just click this one right here and just say something like congratulations. Oh, I need to do a banner. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting about banners. So I'm going to go plus and banner and Shazam. There's a banner. And appearance and colors and white. Perfect and perfect. We'll drag that, and then we'll drag that up. All right, so now we're going to change this, and we're going to say congratulations, you are registered. Exclamation point. And so I'm going to stretch this out a little bit like this. I'm going to center it because I can, and then I'm going to center it on the page because I can.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you know, it's just a talent that I have. Congratulations. There we go. Is that better? Thank you for keeping me honest there, Chip. And then I'm going to go ahead and put, don't forget that your webinar starts. So I'm going to go plus and text, and we'll make this one a little bit smaller, and we'll center it. Your webinar starts at, let's say, 5:00 p.m. Eastern time. Fabulous. And then I'm going to put a plus And I'm going to put a counter on here. So let me see if I can find the counters. Here we go. No, I don't think it's a counter. Let me return. It's going to be a timer. There we go. And there's a whole bunch of different designs for the timers. I can choose any design that I want. I really like that blue one right there. So I'm going to click the blue one. And so right here, I need to set my timer for when the webinar starts. So we are at 11:30. So we have, let's see, 11:30 my time. So that would be 4 o'clock my time. So 4.5 hours. Let's right click and go to edit. And I'm going to go specific date and time. And the date and time is 8:28. So let's see if we can change that. There we go. And we'll change that to 8. And that's 2019. The time is 5 o'clock. And I'm not sure if I can choose the actual time. So I may have to go with a countdown. So I'm going to go 4 hours and 30 minutes. There we go. Just like that in 0 seconds. That sounds great. So I'm going to click confirm. And so now it's counting down. And the next thing I want to do is I want to set it so that when it gets down to 0, it goes to the actual webinar page. But before I can do that, I have to actually create the page. So I'm going to click save and then save again. And now we're going to create the actual webinar page. So I'm going to go to page, layout, and add a new page. It's going to be a blank page. And this is the broadcast page. So this is where I'm going to broadcast the webinar.
Shelley, when you do that and would you put the name of your webinar on there?
Oh yeah, I'm doing just a very shortened version of this so that you guys don't have to watch me spend 6 hours creating a website, okay? So on here, we're on the broadcast page. So this is gonna be, I'm just gonna put some quick text to show you this is the broadcast page. Just like that.
Get your banner in there.
And put that up there. And I need a banner. Oh my gosh.
And a box.
And a box. Yeah, I'm just going to throw banners in there today. We love boxes, but I'm not going to take a long time to build this for you guys. So we'll go to appearance and we'll go back here. We'll choose this box, this banner. And then we'll put that on that banner. And then we'll pull that banner up just like that. So now we've got the broadcast page. And on the broadcast page, I want to actually put the webinar. So I'm going to go to plus, and then I'm going to go to apps, and then I'm going to go to webinar. And this is actually the screen. This little box right here, big box, is where I can add the webinar at. Now, I don't have the webinar made, but if I had the webinar made, I'd right click and go to edit, and I'd add the ID and the secret of the webinar. I don't have it yet, so we'll add that later. So here we go. I'm going to bring the footer down a bit. I'm going to add the banner. It has to be longer to accommodate the window for the webinar. So there we go. We've got the broadcast page. I'm going to click save and then save again. So we've got kind of the skeleton of the website created, right? No biggie. And now we're going to go ahead and create our broadcast, our webinar, so we can actually add it into this page. But before we do, I'm going to go to pages and go back to the home page. And right here, I'm going to right click my form and I'm going to go to change URL. And when they are pending subscribe, I'm going to go ahead and click this. And I'm going to send them to the pre-webinar page. And then once they confirm their subscription, I'm going to send them to that same exact page. Now you can do an email confirmation page if you want to remind them that they need to confirm their email. So you could just create another page. It's an email confirmation page, and you add it to the pending subscribe page so that it reminds them to check their email and confirm their email address. Because we're just kind of rushing through this, we won't create that page. But I've got those set, and I click confirm, and then I click save. So everything is saved. And now we can go over to the second page, the pre-webinar. So right here. And now we want to set this timer so that when I edit it, what is the action that's going to happen once this timer gets down to 0? So I'm going to click action, and then I'm going to choose to send them to a page, and that page is going to be the broadcast page. And then I'm going to click OK, and then confirm, and then save, because save is my friend. And now really the only thing that I have to do is configure the webinar and add that to the webinar page. So let's go ahead and jump into our dashboard, and we're going to go to home. And we'll jump into the webinar platform. So there's the webinar. We'll go to enter. And let's create a evergreen webinar from a video. So I'm going to click new webinar. And we're going to call this webinar 1. And description, webinar 1. We won't protect it with the password. And I'm going to click create webinar. And so now I'm ready to go into my settings. So the live link I don't have yet, so I'm gonna just kind of save that. The recorded link, I don't have that yet, so I'm just gonna save that. My email signature, I'm gonna put Shelly Builderall Diva Turner. You spell it right. I'm not gonna protect it with the password, and the date format is gonna be US. Then I'm gonna go to content. And for the content, I'm going to actually do the content from, let's do a YouTube video, okay? So the YouTube video that I'm going to choose is I'm going to actually go in and check out the video that I did last night. So I'm going to go to Builderall USA. And I'll go to that channel, and we'll grab the Tuesday night training. So we'll go to videos. And there's our Tuesday night training. And I'm going to click right here and copy the URL. Then go back to the webinar settings and put the URL right there. So what's going to happen is at the exact time that it's supposed to start, that webinar will start playing. Okay. Actually, we're going to start it by, I think I'm going to start it by a button. We'll see. All right. So I've got my YouTube set up. Now I'm going to do a schedule. And I can do it as on demand, start by button, or start by time. Let's do start by time. That sounds more exciting. So we'll go to the time to start is the 28th at 5 o'clock. And the local time, let's go UTC time. And let me look at, let's see, time zone, time zones. And we'll see, oops, I don't want to do images. Hold on. See the world clock. That's good.
Pretty sure it's -4.
Is it -4? So if we are in Memphis, Tennessee. Oh my gosh. Memphis, Tennessee. There we go. So this is UTC -5. Does that sound right, you guys? Because that's what I am. So UTC,
oh yeah, you're -5 for you.
To be -4 for Eastern time.
Eastern, yeah. For us, it's for -4.
Okay, great. So yeah, you can see that this is a challenge for me to do. So so for us, this would be 1 o'clock, correct? Is that right, you guys? 1 o'clock p.m. I can't see your faces. Is that right? Let me look at your eyeballs. 1 o'clock, would that be right?
Right, we're thinking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Look, I'm going on you because this is not my specialty. I can tell you everything about Builderall, but do not ask me to convert time. So I think it's 1 o'clock. So that sounds right. So we're going to stick with that. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to share, and we've got it set up for the 28th at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to do that again, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I don't know why it says 1 o'clock and 12 seconds, but that's okay. 12 seconds is not going to kill us. And so the time string, it says the webinar will start on this day at this time, and looks like everything's okay except for the 12 seconds, but I can live with that. And now I'm going to go ahead and set up the chat. I'm going to enable chat. I'm not going to do pre-moderation. So when you guys jump in and watch the video, don't swear and don't flame anybody. Definitely don't flame me. That's not very nice. But I will save the history. And let's see. I don't know what the integration is. We'll send it to email, and the email address, we'll send it to Shelly@builderalldiva.com, and we'll send it every 1 hour. So save. So it's going to send me the history of the chat every 1 hour. And then the download the history is I can come in here and actually download the history from here. I can clear the comments every 24 hours, but we'll go ahead and keep them. Now I'm going to do edit and add some ghost users. So let's say at 10 seconds in, we have a ghost user named Bob. And Bob says, howdy, everyone. And we'll click add. And then at maybe 15 seconds, we have Sally. And Sally says, I just love the Builderall Diva. Exclamation point. And then we'll add that in. And then maybe 30 seconds in, we have George that says, what is this webinar about? Because you always have one of those, right? And add. And then maybe 1 minute in, so we'll say 0, 0. Let me click on this one, and we'll go 0, 1. So 1 minute in, we have Sally that says Builderall is awesome. She's going to be our Builderall fan, and we'll click add. So we now have 4 ghost users, and I put them up to a minute in, so you guys can stay in the chat for at least a minute watching the video, and hopefully you'll see those ghost users jumping in. So I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to scroll down, and we'll go to chat height. And I think I want to make the chat height 35%, not 354, but 35%. And let's see, I need to make my screen a little bit smaller, I think. There we go. And the maximum, oops, I clicked out of it. So let me click back in it, webinar 1, edit. And we'll go back to chat. There we go. So 35% high, and the maximum messages inside the chat is 500. That sounds great. So everything is looking good so far. In statistics, this is going to give me information on people that attended, how many attended, and how many left before the ending, et cetera, so I can look at that later. The next one is Mailing Boss. So I'm going to connect to Mailing Boss. I'm going to import my standard rules. So I'm going to connect it to my Mailing Boss list that's called Webinar 1. The rules are going to be in English, and my send email is going to be, let's see, Shelly@thelaptopdiva.com. Fabulous. So I'll click save, and there's all my emails that are going to go out. So 1 day before, you guys are not going to get that email because it's too late. And 4 hours before, you probably won't get that email. But you'll probably get the 1 hour before, 1 minute before. And then we're going to change this from 3 hours to 1 hour. So I'm going to edit. And where it says 3, I'm going to put 1. So 1 hour after the webinar, there should be a link that goes out that has the replay. So I'm going to click save. Fabulous. And then I'll go ahead and go to the next one, Mailing Boss tracking. These are the integration keys, and this has to do with stuff inside of Mailing Boss being able to track. So I'm not going to set this up right now. And then translation, I'm not doing this in a different language, so I don't need to set it up right now. So the next thing I need to do is actually close out all the settings, go back down here to my webinar 1, and you'll see that there's 4 different buttons here. There's the trash can, so if I want to delete that webinar, I can. There's the edit button, so if we want to make any changes, I can. There's the source code, and then there's the moderation, the admin. So if I want to moderate this, if I have it set up, so I want to pre-moderate all of the comments in chat, I can do that from here. So this is how you administer and pre-moderate if you want to pre-moderate. So this is the admin area where you can do that, okay? What I want to do is where this little source code is, and I want to get the ID, and I want to get the secret. So I'm just going to open a notepad real quick and put that on there. So I've got the ID right here, and we'll add it to the notepad. And then I've got the secret key right here. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to add it to my notepad. So now I'm ready to add it into the website Pixel Perfect. So here's my HTML editor. I'm going to go to the appropriate page. That's the broadcast page. And here's where I'm broadcasting. So I'm going to right click and go to edit. And I need my ID. So there's my ID right there. And I'm going to click and add it. And then I need my secret key. So I'm going to copy that and paste it right there. And then I'm going to click confirm. And so here I've got the webinar, and it says when it's going to start. And then I've got the chat right here, write messages and send them. And it says the name of the webinar, and it says like how many people are connected. And then you see people starting to jump in, and this is what the ghost users look like when they jump in. So I'm going to click save, and then save again. There we go. And we should not see this start until 1:00 p.m. I'm not sure why it looks like it's playing right now, but you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and preview it. And it says webinar will start. And for some reason, it's starting automatically. So I don't know why it's starting. If I could click play. There's those. So we're just going to check it out in a minute. If it has a problem with starting a specific time, we'll set it up to do on demand. So I'm going to save my changes. Save. And there we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and publish this thing, and we're going to take a look at what this will do. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my Pixel Perfect Builder, and I'm going to look at my site list, and we're going to make this public. So we'll wait for it to go into my sites. There we go. And I'm going to go into that webinar 1, and I'm going to publish it just like that. Perfect. And that's going to reload the page for me. Eventually. Hopefully. There we go. We got it now. And then we're going to get that link, and I'm going to put it in chat, and I want you guys to copy that link. So I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to go to copy link address, and I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to share this link, and I want you guys to actually register for the webinar. So then I'm going to take a look at the webinar. So I'm going to click it to go to the live page. There it is. Really simple. It's not mobile optimized, so don't try to look at it on your mobile phone. It's not going to look good. So I'm going to say my name is Shelly, and my email is skydivingdiva@yahoo.com. And then I'll click Get Your Free Stuff Today. And now it says, congratulations, you're registered. And the webinar starts at 5:00 p.m. Eastern time. So it's telling me it's got 4 hours and 15 minutes to go, which is about right. And then I'm going to take a look at the other page, which is the broadcast page. So I'm going to look at that address. So I'm going to go broadcast.
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. I tend to do that sometimes. Thank you for letting me know. There we go. So here's the broadcast page, and I'm going to sign in as Shelly. And what we should get is the webinar should not start yet. It's actually showing as starting, which is really weird. And then it just shows as ending too. So I'm not real sure why it's doing that. And you can see that our ghost users are starting as well. So let me check the time again on the webinar. So we're going to go here and we're going to edit. And I'm going to check schedule and it's start by time. Oh, and the duration is, we're going to say 120 minutes. And then start time is 1 o'clock UTC. And let me check the UTC again. So UTC is -5 hours, which would be.
It should be 10 p.m.
Should be 10 p.m.
If you were starting at 5 p.m. your time.
You guys are ahead.
Yes.
That's
UTC.
right.
I was going to say that earlier on. I didn't want to.
That's okay. That's great because I went backwards instead of forwards.
Yeah,
So,
you're forward to us, or you're
That's
behind us. What am I saying? Yeah.
So instead of 1 o'clock, I should set it as it's supposed to start at 5 o'clock, and I'm
10
o'clock. Got it.
10 p.m.
See, I need help with this, you guys. This is like really hard for me.
Yeah, sure, we're all here to help.
So the 28th, and it's going to be at 1200 hours. There we go. So now I think it's completely set correctly. And now we can actually take a look and see what it's doing. So let me go to the page and refresh the broadcast page and see if it does it right. So we'll do Shelly. Okay. Oh, I needed to refresh. There we go. Let's see if it gets the due time. Shelly. Okay. And it's still not doing it. I don't think it has it updated yet. So we will try it again, make sure it's updated. So I'll edit and schedule, or as some people say, schedule. And nope, didn't take the time. So that one and 1200. And we'll say UTC, and we'll change something else on here.
10 p.m.
Yeah, isn't that on military time though? It's 1200.
No,
2200. 2200.
Oh, yeah, 2200. Oh my gosh, I need a nap, you guys.
Yeah. Hey, I learned it all. Jeepers, the hard way. I used to be a travel agent, and I had to, I had to have it all off. Yeah.
Somebody needs to just reach through the internet right now and just kind of smack me a little bit. Say, oh my gosh, Shelly, get it straight. So I think I have it now, maybe. So we've got 2009, 8:28, 22 o'clock, and 12 seconds. Don't ask me why it's got the 12 seconds. And I'll just go ahead and move it from over to translation and then back to schedule to see if we've got it. Looks like we've got it. So I'm going to go ahead and click out of that. And then we'll go back here and refresh. And everybody cross your fingers, cross your eyes, cross your toes. Let's see if Shelly finally got it with the help of the entire class. No, still not doing it. So we're just going to pretend that it's going to do it right. Hopefully it's because it just hasn't got the information yet. Probably what I need to do is connect it again. So let's do that. I'm going to go to here on the HTML, and I'm going to take off that. And it's like, oh my God, you just messed it all up. No, we didn't. We just go to plus, and we go to apps, and we go to, not that one, not HTML, plus,
Webinar.
and apps, and webinar. There we go. And I'm going to make it bigger so it'll take up this whole space, just like that. We'll make it a bit taller, just so it has enough room for everything. And now we're going to go to edit and put those magical keys in again. So I'm going to go here to the ID.
where did those come from?
I'll show you in just a second. Let me get them put in,
Thank you.
just like that. And then confirm. And let's see, we've got it at, nope, it's still doing it. I don't know why it's doing it. Maybe it's got new keys. So we'll look and see if it's got new keys. So to get the keys, you go to the webinar and you click this little source code. And then right here, it's got the keys.
Thanks.
21962. And then let me get the secret key and see if it's the same thing. I think it is actually. BA3E yada 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 6E310. So it's actually the same. So we'll go ahead and go into the HTML editor and we're going to click save and then save again. We'll make it connect again, brand new. And then we'll go here and see if it'll do it right. Being cantankerous, isn't it, you guys? And it's still doing it. So I'm not sure what's going on with why it's not taking our time right. I'm either doing something wrong or it's having issues. So let's just do it a different way. You guys saw how to set it for a time. Let's set it to go on demand. So remember that on demand, let me stop sharing a minute. When we set it for a time, okay, all those emails that we set up will go out, right? Because it's set for a specific time. So it can say, all right, your webinar is going to start in an hour. Your webinar is going to start in 1 minute. Your webinar is going to start now, right? If I set it for on demand, that means that it doesn't have a specific time that it's going to start. It's just whenever you get to that page, it'll start, okay? So let's set it for on demand, and then we will actually let you guys choose to watch it on demand. So we'll do it just a little bit differently. So what I'm going to do on the actual HTML is change it up a bit, and I'm going to do the webinar changed up a little bit too. So let me go to the webinar platform, and we'll edit.
Share screen.
Sorry, go ahead.
Share screen.
Oh, golly. I'm just having all kinds of trouble today, aren't I? So on schedule, I'm going to do under schedule on demand. So the users will be able to watch your webinar anytime they want to. Okay, so we've set it for on demand. And then I'm going to go ahead and just kind of switch the screen just so I know that it's taken the settings. And then we'll go from there. There is no save button, so there's not a good way to you know, make sure that everything is saved. So what I do is just go in and make sure that it's saved on. I close it out and then go back in to make sure it's saved. Okay. So then I'm going to go back to my website and get it changed up just a little bit to reflect the fact that it's on demand. So what I'm going to do is go to this layout, and then I'm going to go to the pre-webinar page, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the timer, but I'm going to change the timer just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to right click and go to edit, and instead of 4 hours, I'm going to change it to 5 minutes, like that. So the timer is going to now be 5 minutes, and then I'm going to right click and edit again. And I'm going to set the action is when the timer goes down, it will actually go to the page. So every time they go to this page, they'll have to wait 5 minutes before they get to the actual broadcast page. Okay, and then the action should still be the same. Is once it gets to 0, it'll go forward to the broadcast page. So I'm going to make you guys wait. I'm going to change it. I'm going to make you guys wait 1 minute. No, let's do it. 30 seconds. So 30 seconds. Here we go. And confirm. So now you've got a timer that shows 30 seconds. I'm going to do timer sizes, and I'm going to make it maybe a little bit bigger.
But you select the green, evergreen timer, right? Because
Yeah.
every time somebody enters to the page, the timer starts again.
That's exactly it. So they'll have to wait another 30 seconds before they can get in. Yes. So this is the evergreen webinar. So you could you can totally bypass this page. You do not have to have this page specifically for the webinar if it's evergreen. What I would do if it's an evergreen webinar is send them to an email confirmation page to remind them to confirm. And then on that email confirmation page, have a button that says something like, go to the webinar to watch the webinar. Okay, so you can actually remind them to confirm their email and then have a button that takes them to the webinar. And then on the email confirmation on the email that goes out to confirm their email, have that button go to the webinar page. Okay, so it would be.
And I see some webinars that it has like a few set times that you can choose. Like it says today, 15 minutes away, one from another. Is it that possible?
Yeah, that's absolutely possible. You just have to create different webinars. So if you want one tomorrow, then you need to create a webinar that's ready for tomorrow. And then if you want one on Thursday, tomorrow is Thursday. If you want one for Friday, then you create another webinar that's set to go off on Friday. And if you want one for Saturday, then you create another webinar that's set to go off on Saturday at whatever time you want them to go off. And then your buttons are just going to take them to the page for the day.
Shelley, can I say something very quickly? You know, we're watching you do this, and when you think about it with the technology, it takes seconds to make changes. But think about 10, 15, 20 years ago, even 20 years ago, when you would be doing a seminar or you were promoting it, you had to send out brochures and do 3 mailings before you got people to respond. And then if you made a change to the hotel, you had to go print the whole thing up again.
Yeah, it's a whole heck of a lot different, isn't it?
Yes.
When you guys get good at this, you're going to be able to be like, boom, there's a webinar. Boom, there's another webinar. Shazam, there's another webinar. And you can send out emails to let people know on your email list. They can specifically register for this webinar and they'll get the reminder emails. There's like so many things you can do. And the templates are in place. Tomorrow we'll do this the faster way, which is to use Canvas. So I'll actually show you how you can do Canvas as well. Okay. So let's jump in. I'm going to share my screen. I'm not going to forget to share my screen this time. And so now it's set to go on demand. So yay me. So now let's go ahead and start from scratch. So I'm going to go back to the main page and we'll register Bob, and Bob is at bobsburgers.com, and get your free stuff today. And so here we've got congratulations, you're registered, and it counted down really weirdly, but now I'm on the broadcast page. I'm going to go to Bob and click OK, and now it's loading and it's started. And for some reason, it started 25 minutes into the page. Probably because, I bet you I know why, because I'm not doing it incognito. So let's try this thing out incognito, because I think what it's been doing is remembering that I'm here.
Yeah, Shelley, mine didn't start at all. Still, it's waiting for me to start it.
All right, let me do this. Like. All right, so let's do incognito and see if we get just kind of a fresh start here. Whoops. Get the right link. There we go. And right here. Fantastic. So now we'll go with Susie at homemaker.com and get your free stuff. And we've got 29 seconds. For some reason, it's counting down really fast. Here's the broadcast page. We'll go to Susie and OK. And play. Okay, so that one actually did like it was supposed to, except for the timer. The timer was wacky. So instead of counting down from 30 seconds, it did like 2 seconds. But also notice that Bob jumped in as a ghost user. Sally's jumped in as a ghost user. We should have, I think, 1 or 2 more ghost users jumping in, and those are the comments. And then as a user, I can write a comment. So, hey, super glad to be here. And send. And so there's Susie, and she made a comment, so everybody will be able to see that. So that's an on-demand webinar and how that works. And I'll have to keep working with the timed one because I'm not sure what I did wrong. It's probably because I made the mistake at the beginning. But I want all of you guys to actually register and go to that and actually jump in there. And you don't have to watch the whole thing, but watch the ghost users jump in, watch the comments when they come in. And then if you want to comment as well, and we'll see if the comments are actually saved on the different webinars. We can see them. And that way you guys can see kind of how this works. The timer thing is actually great. I love setting up the timer so that when it times down to 0, it forwards you to the broadcast page. So you can do that on a timed webinar. You can do that on an evergreen webinar. So they hit that email confirmation page first to remind them to confirm their email. So there's lots of different ways that you can build this to be able to do exactly what you want it to do. The key is to actually just kind of think about it a little bit, and before you build it, decide, do you want to do a live webinar? Do you want to do a pre-recorded webinar? This one was a pre-recorded webinar where we added a YouTube channel, but you can do a live one as well. You decide how you're going to do it. That kind of dictates how you want to put your pages together. And then you just put your pages together. You can use a template that's in the list of templates, or you can use the canvas to be able to build. And then you just kind of go from there. So do you guys have any questions about today that we jumped around and didn't get the time right? And it's been a heck of a day, but did you actually learn anything?
Okay, Shelley, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Edison.
All right, is there another option besides doing the reminders by email? Can it be done, let's say, sent to Messenger instead?
Sent to Messenger instead. You'd have to get their phone number. So you'd have to collect the prefix and the phone number. And if you got that, you could use Messenger. You could actually use text messaging to remind them about the webinar, because they'll sign up for your subscriber list. And on your subscriber list, if you've got their prefix and their phone number, you can actually SMS text message them.
Okay, I was actually thinking about Facebook Messenger.
That one, I don't think we have a direct connection to that, other than like the chat bot as the thing is running, as the webinar is running, because it's connected to the chat that's connected to the webinar. I don't think outside of that you can message them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Anybody else? Chip, go ahead.
If you're just going live, then it has nothing to do with YouTube or Facebook. It's
Correct.
just one of the other options.
It's going to be on that broadcast page if you're just going live.
Okay, thanks.
Or you can choose to record it, so you can go live but never actually add it to a web page, and you record it and then use it as an evergreen.
Ah.
Yep.
Hi, Shelley. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Gabriel.
I got the email, but I'm not sure what's going on because it sends me to update my information after I have to.
I've actually changed it. When I changed it to a on-demand, then the emails won't work anymore.
Oh, okay, no biggie. And then the way that you set up because you use the YouTube video and now you got all the annotations on the top. People can click on that link and go straight to YouTube and just get out of your webinar. Mm-hmm. How can I clean all that up and have a nice clean video that they won't be able to go anywhere?
You can actually, if I share my screen, let me jump in to show you what you can do. I'll go here and back to the webinar platform. and I'm going to go to edit this webinar. So I'm going to click the edit button. And then on the content, instead of clicking YouTube, I can go iframe. And then I can put the iframe code in here. And on that iframe, I can use those special codings to get rid of all that extra stuff all around it. So it's just a regular, normal, old iframe. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, and I'm not sure you were going to adopt that iframe code or something. I didn't check if you did.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. I was so busy last night. I actually didn't get a chance to update it again. But
So
but I do have it. I can add it to chat real quick. So let me pull that up. And let's see, that is under Builderall and important information. And let me copy that for you because it's just an iframe code, no biggie.
Can I use the same thing? Can I use when you use the iframe, how do you use that? Do I have to upload it straight from my computer? I'm not quite sure how to do it.
No, all an iframe is it's just a frame inside of a web page. So you're actually just saying, take this area and put it inside the page. So when you use the iframe from YouTube, it's saying, take this YouTube video and just put it right here.
And then it's going to get rid of all that, the title on the top, all the YouTube logo, etc.
The iframe that I have here gets rid of some of it, but not all of it. So test it and put your video link in there and test it, and you'll see exactly what it does.
All right.
It does something called modest branding. So it just kind of takes off some of the stuff, but it doesn't take off all of it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tyree?
Shelley, I'm not familiar with where you would get the iframe from. Could you show that? Because
Yeah, take a look at the code that I put in the chat. So open up the chat in Zoom. You'll see that there's an iframe code there.
Okay.
That iframe is an iframe that you can use to put your YouTube video in. So where it says YouTube/embed/Q, you can put the link to your YouTube video. And then once the question mark is there, everything after that are the settings to remove the thing on the top, to remove the place button on the bottom. So it's modest branding. So it takes some of that stuff off, not everything, because the YouTube symbol still appears there, and something else appears at the top left-hand side, but I can't remember what. But this is called modest branding. It'll remove some of it, but not all of it.
Okay, because I had been trying to find out where to get an iframe from or something like that, and I couldn't.
Yeah,
because I know what it looks like.
You can actually get it from YouTube as well. It just won't have that coding. So right here, where I've got the Builderall Tuesday night training, if you go to share, and then you go to, let's see if it has specifically iframe. Nope. So embed, and there's the iframe code right there.
Okay.
And it's got options that you can choose. So you can start it at a specific timestamp. You can show or not show the player controls, and it'll show you what it looks like. And then enable privacy enhanced mode. I don't know what that is actually. And once you select all those things that you want to select, it changes the code up here. So you can copy that iframe, and then you can use that inside of the webinar.
Okay, is this the same way that you all do the Monday weekly meetings?
No, this one's different because this one is iframing just a single video. It's quite different to iframe the live channel feed. That's a little bit different because you're live streaming the live channel feed. So that's going to be a different link to be able to grab the live feed off of the channel.
And that link we get off that Beta Studio.
That's what you're going to get inside of the resources when I ever get a moment to put it in.
Okay. Thank you, because I wanted to have a dedicated page like what we have with our Builderall Weekly meetings on Mondays, I want to have a dedicated page where I can do that, like what we do with Builderall meetings. And at the same time, I would like to be able to do the same thing and see the videos at the bottom of the page.
Awesome.
Like we do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to do it because, like I said, you can go into that weekly webinar page, and anytime Builderall goes live, you'll see it and the active live stream on there because it's connected directly to the YouTube channel, not to a specific video.
Okay. I want to do my YouTube channel like that too. Do you know if there's a way to do a Facebook channel on a Facebook page like that, or just YouTube?
The only thing you can do is once you go live, you can get the link to the live and then copy and paste it wherever you want to paste it. But you have to be live to be able to get the link because there's not like a persistent link that you get every time you go live on Facebook.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. And I'm going to, and for those that are watching the recording of this webinar, you can say, well, they won't be able to see the chat like we can.
Nope, they won't. But I'll have the iframe stuff in there. It'll be on the resources for I think day 1 because that's when we talked about it.
Recently, day 1 of builderallbootcamps.com.
Yep, day 1 of the webinar bootcamp.
That's right, and they can go to builderallbootcamps.com to get that.
That's right, and it's Builderall Bootcamps with an S.
Thank you,
Shelley. I registered for that class, and and I linked to it, and it counted down, and it never changed the page.
It never changed the page. Let's just be tricky for you, isn't it? It's just being particular.
It never went to the webinar.
Live, but it's for me. It was doing instead of 30 days, it did 30 seconds. It did like 2 seconds. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'll have to test it and see if it's something that I'm doing or something that's a glitch in the system. We'll see. Gabriel, do you have a question?
Yes, I'm using multiple webinars for different things. Once you go and set up the emails in the mailing boss and you pull up those 5 different email sequence, can I go back and edit it and make it pretty and brand it and all that stuff and save it? And then can that be saved for that particular webinar? And now once I go and get the next webinar, which is on a different topic, do the same thing?
Yeah, the hard part is making it pretty because you don't have as many effects as you do when you go into the email editor in Mailing Boss. So this one's pretty plain. You can do a little bit of dynamic text in there, but not a lot. You can bold things, you can underline things, italicize things, but other than that, there's not a lot of prettiness you can do. It's just pretty much a plain Jane video, a plain Jane email that says, "Hey, don't forget that your webinar is starting in an hour. Hey, don't forget that your webinar is starting in 5 minutes. Hey, don't forget the webinar is done, but you can watch the replay by clicking here." So that way, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time making them pretty. Just make sure that it has the information that they need.
So another option would be to just go and create my own sequence.
Yep.
But then I have to I'm just trying to comprehend this.
The sequence that you would make would have to be regular emails instead of autoresponder emails, right? Because you would want them to go out at a very specific time.
Well, kind of use the same format. That's what I'm trying to do, with the same times, so schedule it to.
Right. But here's what I want to make sure you understand. When you do a normal email sequence for Mailing Boss, it's actually, there's not a specific time that email is going to go out. It's going to be based on when the user subscribes. So if you want to have an email that goes out at a very specific time to say, "Hey, don't forget that the webinar starts in a day," then you're going to have to make it a regular email so that it goes out at a very specific day at a very specific time.
And then with those templates, technically, because it's 5, and then let's say they only signed up in the last, it's only 2 days left. They won't get the other 3 emails, correct? They'll just get these.
Right. Yeah, once it's passed, it won't trigger to send.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tyree?
Yes, I want to say I just registered for the webinar and did everything. It did count down from 30 seconds, and then it took me to the webinar page, and I logged in. and it did start from the beginning. And I refreshed it, and it took me back to the login. I did it again. It started from the beginning. So
Okay.
it worked on this end.
Okay, good. Yay. So we've got one not working for Davita. It worked a little wacky for me, but it finally worked. It worked for Tyree. So you guys keep trying and you report to me. Larry, did it work for you okay? Okay, good.
Could
Fabulous.
be the browser. Could be the browser. Could be.
It could be the browser. Yep, I agree. Could be the browser. No telling. Sometimes it's just kind of tricky. Chip, did it work okay for you?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, great.
Can I back up a day?
Can you what?
Back up a day. And I wonder if anyone else had the experience I did trying to do a Facebook Live that Connect had the Go Live button grayed out. I had to click on camera before the Go Live button was clickable.
Well, remember that the Go Live is not going to go, it's not going to be clickable until you go into the Builderall webinar and start the webinar there. You have to click start, and then you have to give it, it takes a couple, like 30 seconds to a minute for that RTMP, for that RTMP to connect and for Facebook to actually see it. Because what's happening is our servers are saying, hello, Facebook, I have somebody that wants to connect to you. And Facebook goes, well, you can't unless you have the RTMP settings. And then our servers go, well, I have those settings, so you should let me go live. And then Facebook goes, well, then tell me what those settings are. And our servers go, here's our settings. And then Facebook goes, oh, okay, now I'll activate the button. So that's kind of what happens, is that back and forth while they're trading information.
That's great.
You have to wait just for a little bit, and then that go live button will actually activate.
Definitely did not wait that long.
Yeah, it does take a little bit. I might be exaggerating a full minute, but wait, give it at least 30 seconds. At least 30 seconds. Okay? Try that out, and then you let me know. Hopefully that was a good example of what goes on, because that literally is what happens, where they trade off information trying to, Facebook is verifying that they're allowed to go live, and the servers are going, no, really, I'm allowed to go live. I have the information I need. So it's just a trading of information until Facebook actually verifies.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, you guys? All right, tomorrow we're going to do this again. I'm going to actually take a look at the timing thing and see if maybe because I did it wrong the first time and can get my time zone straight, that maybe that was the cause of the problem. So I'm going to run through a test myself and see if I can get the timed one to go. And we'll do a timed one tomorrow. Plus, we'll go through Canvas and do Canvas version as well. Canvas is a lot faster. It's a lot easier. It's pre-made funnels. So the design can even be there for you. So it's actually really cool. So we went the long way around today, but it's always important, you guys, to try to do the long way so that just in case something wacky goes wrong, you're not in the dark as to all these little pieces that have to fit together for the webinar to work. So long way today, short way tomorrow, and we'll see if we can't get a timed webinar running, okay? Everybody got it? Your homework for tonight is to create, since we can only do on-demand today, really, create an on-demand webinar. So find you a really cool YouTube video, pull it in there, create an on-demand webinar, use a really, really basic pages. Don't worry about creating pretty pages. Connect them all together and see if you can't get a on-demand webinar going, okay? Got it?
Okay. Shelly, I tried the webinar. I'm getting to the page, but the video is not loading.
The video is not loading.
Yeah.
Can you refresh that page and see if it
Yeah,
works?
I've tried that several times, but it still didn't.
And play, did you click play?
Yeah, in fact, play button.
That's so weird. I'm not sure, but I'll check all of it again. We're gonna check all of it again and see what's going on. What browser are you using, Edison?
Chrome.
So it should be working. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I'm seeing the comments, 11 comments, but the frame, it's just black. There is no nothing.
Well,
So-
apparently the YouTube gods have said, no, Edison, no, you cannot watch this today.
Yeah.
Not allowed. So,
And that is so unfair.
I know, it is so unfair. I will have a talk with these YouTube gods and I'll try to figure out what the heck is going on.
I appreciate that very much.
Sometimes that's the way it is, you guys, is working through
Yeah.
some of these little issues and things that happen. It's not always as pretty and pristine as you think it should be. And so sometimes it just takes working through it, figuring it out, maybe talking to support. This is my life with Builderall, right? If it doesn't work, I get to talk to support just like you do. I just have the added benefit of being in contact with the developers as well. So I get a little bit better help and a little bit better input on stuff because I'm connected to the developers. But it's not much more than what you guys have. And I promise you, there are days when I get just as frustrated as you guys do. But I know in the end, if I'm careful and I carefully go through it and I work real hard, I will get it all to work like it's supposed to work. So hang in there with me and we'll get it running and it will be absolutely beautiful when we're done. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go for today. Don't forget what your homework is. I promise if you don't get your homework done, I'm not going to beat you with a wet noodle, but you guys try your best to get homework done. And remember, you had homework of creating a webinar and then creating going live to Facebook and YouTube that first day. And then the second day was going live with a participant. And now your assignment is to create an on-demand webinar. Okay, so everybody with me? All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. You guys have a fabulous day. And don't forget, it's Wednesday. It's prepay day. So apply for your money today. And I'll see you guys all around the internet and all around Facebook. Bye, guys.
Thank you.